Hello there, and welcome to the next part of the Stream Hunt series. The game seems incredibly quiet. No, wrong thing. Settings, audio, sound, no. Sounds, no. Oh, maybe put that up. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. That's a bit better, my friends. Right, yes, so, this is the third stream of the attempt to get the no spoon achievement in Factorio. It went surprisingly well last weekend, the last two streams, Saturday and Sunday last week. And I suspect we may just fluke the no time for chit chat achievement. I don't think we'll get the spoon because although I'm relatively close to the technology for the rocket, actually building a rocket takes quite a while because you've got to, stick in a load of stuff. So I don't think we'll do the spoon achievement as such, but we might sort of fluke out on and get the. I'm not going to load it up because obviously the timer starts as soon as it's loaded. But yeah, so we may get that, we may not. I'm not fussed if we don't, sort of thing, because we'll get them both at Chit Chat is 15 hours and Spoon is 8 hours. So if we get Spoon, we get the other one automatically. But to explain the series in case you're new to this series, it's basically I've got all of the achievements in Factorio, but despite it being a game I've played 2,000 hours in, over 2,000 hours, I'm not 100%ed it, and that's because the last two are effectively speedrun type achievements. That require you to launch a rocket within a certain time, and that's not generally how I play. I'm not the fastest of players. So we'll load it up. I've been fiddling about. There shouldn't be any mods on. Let's just check for sure. I've been fiddling about. I'm thinking about starting a second series at the same time. Playing, Factorio 2 probably. And I was looking at my old Factorio saves, but the game he's changed the mod, so I don't think I could just pick that up. I think I'd have to start again, basically. Right, so where's the spoon 2? Okay, here we go. So I say the timer will start as soon as we load it, which is a little inconvenient, so I will hit the research button in order to pause it and work out kind of where I am. So I'm about to make rocket fuel. And then I can't queue things up, can I? Because I forgot to set that when we started this map. Okay. We do have quite a few techs. I'm not pretending we are close. But it's not. I mean, it's literally these. So it's the two second level of those two, and then low density structures, which requires plastic, rocket fuel, which we were about to make, I think. And they're obviously direct feeds in for the rocket. The other one is obviously the rocket control unit, and they're a bit more research required. I have a decision to make at some point whether I'm going to go with bots, because we kind of get robotics, automatically. We've got to get that for the rocket. So, there's an argument for getting construction bots on the go. The trouble with that, it's sort of how can I put this? So the trick with it is that they're probably going to be useful in doing the speed run, the actual spoon achievement itself. But for this version, because I'll have a blueprint then, you see. But for this version, I've not got the blueprint. That's what I'm working on, basically. So they wouldn't really be that useful, I don't think, for this playthrough. But what we could do is once we finish this, is then set up a construction bot area that when I get to this point in the game again, I can just make that, build that, and then the bots will fill out a lot of the rest of the blueprint. So I think we'll come back to bots and not do them in this specific playthrough. But yeah, so we're about to do rocket fuel, which must mean I need to switch these over to advanced fuel. Yes, there we go. Advanced fuel, advanced oil. Which obviously going to technically stop the plastic and sulfur, but it's all backed up, so it's not a problem. So we need to chuck in. Oops. No, I keep doing that. And there's the thing, you see. I'm sort of labouring under misapprehension all the time that I've got bots. So if we put... Oh, didn't connect it. So we put this, say... Because we got this water coming up here, which I'm hoping will have enough pressure. Because it's quite long, this bit of water. But hopefully it'll be okay. Right, so that gets us advanced oil on the go. Which means we're going to need to handle light and mist. I'm stood in the way. We're going to have to handle light and, heavy anyway. We obviously need to start making lube. So that gives us a place to put some lube. Put some heavy. But otherwise we're going to need to crack it. Unless the unless the rocket fuel will use up all the stuff. But what I can do... What else do I need for storage tanks then? Oh, iron plates, which I've not got for some reason. Okay. I was going to stick them in a few tanks so that we get a little bit of breathing room. I mean, obviously, we don't need them to be running because there is quite a lot backed up on the belts there. So we don't need that to be happening. And it is going to take a little while for that chunk through, but we can make a couple of tanks as well. One of the questions is, I need engines, don't I? Am I making engines on the bus? Because you can't hand make engines, can you? No. Am I making them somewhere? Oops. Let's grab a bit of everything. While we're here, I did notice before that we're backing up with blue science, so we might be able to put a bit more of that in. Oh, that's not connected. Should that be connected? Oh, it should, which is why we've got no engines in there. That's a error. Dang. Okay. Maybe if we chuck in... Because I've randomly got a bit of steel. So if we just sort of chuck in a bit of steel there, I might be able to pinch a few engines. That's a bit of an error. Where did I get to with all this then? Because this was... Isn't that meant to be... Oh no, this is purple, but we haven't done purple yet, have we? Okay. So what else was purple going to need? I can't remember offhand. So how have I been making... Wait, how have I been making blue science if I've not had any engines being made? What? That's a bit odd. Anyway, what we can do is we can just chuck an extra one up here. I don't quite understand how that was making engines if there was no steel. Unless I connected it up before, maybe, and it was just sort of doing them, you know, with what it had on the belt, and then I accidentally disconnected the belt. Maybe. Right. I mean, we're going to need... One of the things, we're going to need prod modules for the rocket, but I think we're probably better. Right, let's leave pumps for the time being. What we can do is put on the storage tanks. I don't actually know whether I'm going to bother with logic and stuff. Or, you know, just sort of chuck it into however many machines we can, really. Decisions. Why are you not making anything? Because you're out of petroleum. Is it all backed up? Yes, okay. So, we now need to make some... what do we call it? Some solid fuel. And we'll make it from the other two. Or should we make lube? Have we even done lube? We haven't even done lube, have we? No. Yeah, so we'll make some solid fuel, which is 20 in 2 seconds. Okay, so if we take sort of a, I guess a nominal, oh, that's right in the way, isn't it? That's annoying. Right, let's do that. So if we take a nominal sort of fluid bus going this way, and then we can start making some other stuff. So if we connect this, oh, wrong one. That one needs that one first, and that's in the wrong place. So go this way basically, and this way. Only I've connected that in the wrong place. There. So we've got, yeah, there we go. So we want that there. Okay. Right, so leave a little gap, and then if we make solid fuel out of them, what does that look like? So if we just put, because literally all it needs is heavy oil, I think, isn't it? Oh, doesn't need, yeah, just literally heavy oil. Okay, so we'll run a pipe up there, stick a couple in. Doesn't quite reach. No. Okay. Right, let's put it. No, let's put it there. I can put some of them on, and send it back down. And then we want similar for light oil. In fact, not just similar, basically identical. Yeah, light oil. Oh, what am I doing? I'm looking for what? Looking for chemical labs. Weirdly, I'm panicking again. I had this effect last time where it was like the sort of prospect of maybe doing the achievement sort of made me sort of almost panic, really. So I should just put that out of my mind, really, because that's not. If we get it, brilliant. If not, that's kind of entirely as expected. Right, just put you there. Just whack a load of them on. Outputs there. And we can tweak, you know, how much there is. Oh, that should be more like an inserter. Oh. Is there no light oil, or have I just not... Oh, I've not connected that up properly. Boop. These are just... It's just because this is up running at pathetic rate, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. It's not because it's... No, it's not out of water or anything. Okay. Yeah, so ideally, if that's there both sides, so that should just be on the outside, right? Okay. And then, obviously, we want to make actual rocket fuel. We'll need a bit of space. We'll need some more machines, which are there. We can make loads of them, actually. Let's make a load of them. And then this has a bit of a trickier recipe. So we can sort of set it up, because we need both the actual solid fuel and so I can't set the recipe yet, obviously, can I? Would I be better? Might be easier if I split this. Oops. Like here. So Send one bit that way, one bit that way. Yeah, and then we take that up there, and they'll feed in to there. Yeah, I prefer that, I think. Oh, run out of power bars, crikey. Oh, I can only make 4 more. Guess we're out of trees. Somebody kill some trees for me. Where's the nearest trees? Nearest trees. Come on. There's got to be trees somewhere. Guess this over here? Let's go grab some trees. Tree, tree, tree. So, I mean, I usually only stream, obviously, for the 3 hours, so we won't actually, even if I completely biff this and end up doing nothing and it's no useless, we won't actually even hit the 8-hour mark today. Oh no, that's a countdown, isn't it? I thought it was counting up, but it's counting down, isn't it? Must be, because the other one says 10... Oh, it's a countdown. Okay. So, might as well run out that clock today, I guess. Because only sort of 12 minutes past what I would normally stream for, so we might as well do that. I was going to put some tanks on, wasn't I, to help with a bit of buffering. And then I never did. What a boob. Right. Can I fit them in, no problem, or is that going to be a pain? That's going to be a pain, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be a right royal pain. Let's not bother then. Yeah, so light oil is stuck, as it were. I don't know whether we need cracking or not. This is the sort of things that I need to work out, you know, for in this stream, basically. But these are going to be, obviously, solid fuel. We won't... Should I stick some more? I might as well stick some more on. While I'm here. So if we... I thought I'd got that wrong. That's wrong, isn't it? So it needs to be that one. And then this would be the light coming up. Yeah, that'd be the light coming up. Like that. And then this is the output. So I can do that there. And then, what would it be? It'd be those two, I guess? Oh, no, that is right. There we go. No. Output. 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 Obviously, we don't know, or I don't know where I'm going to put the actual rocket yet. But this will be the... I mean, would it make sense to put the rocket here? Might do. Yeah, well, what we'll do is stick the rocket fuel in a chest, basically. If I... It's not 1, 2, so it's 1, 2 there. I can't imagine us having more than that, but... let's just stick a chest up here. Are these overlapping by 1 as per? Yeah. We'll just stick a chest here, which will just, you know, we'll just let that fill. I can't imagine us doing more than that, because we always go and hand grab it and chuck it in the rocket, basically, by hand. So this is now backing up. And it's starting to really eat into the plastic. Okay, so we probably would need... Although this is about to finish, isn't it? And it's pretty hungry for light oil. Because it's light oil that's backed up, I bet. Yeah, it's light oil that's backed up. So let's start, let's sort of put in where lube may be. That sounded weird. Lube maybe. So this would be, you know, lube. And we could just do it like that. Should I make some more of them? No, oh, well, we might need them, so we might as well have that. There we go, that's rocket fuel, so we'll then do lube. And I can set that on there. Oh. Wait, I'm being dumb, aren't I? Spectacularly dumb. You don't make rocket fuel. I'm pretty sure you used to, you know. That's why I did that. But you make rocket fuel in blooming assemblers, not... What a rube. What a rube. Don't you? Don't you? It's not level 2 assemblers only, is it? Let's cancel them off. Get another one of them. Oh, it is. Huh, okay. I thought they got rid of all that conditional malarkey. Yeah, because that's not on there. Well, I never. Okay. Okay, so, in that case, we need a bunch of them. And a whole different ball game of balls. And I need a different way of feeding things in and out. What do I? I could. So if we were to say, because that one can go there. Oops. Like that. And you can still be... No, how am I going to feed that in then? Well, that's the output anyway. Oh, in fact, if that's the output, it doesn't matter, does it? I can just do the output some other place, basically. So it's this one that's going to be wrong. That went. Right. So what else do we want to stack up here? We really want to just be pushing towards. So let's do electric engines, because you know they take the lube that we're about to do. Yeah. So if I just put inputs there, and then output can just be like that. And we can have the underground, which is where? Where's the underground? There's the underground. Yeah, why am I not using my thing? Or would it be better if we do undergrounds there? Right. Okay. Okay. So we need to connect that. And then stick that on there. You do need an output. How quickly is that loading them in? Because they're quite slow. So I'm not entirely sure how many we need, but you know. In fact, they're very slow, aren't they? Very slow. Oops. Get rid of all that. But you know, that's what this process is all about. Working out. We're gonna need more of them then, aren't we? Working out all the things in better ways. So, no real idea how many we do or don't need. So we'll just chuck a load in. Yeah. Guess why not? Bing bong bing. That was quick. Right, so next one then, I guess robotics maybe? That's quite cheap as well. That there, that there, that there. In fact, if that's like that. So you've got light oil, you've got light oil. You're trying to output here, but you've got nowhere to go. And then the chest, which is there. Put that there. Why did I put that in the wrong place? Yeah, so rocket fuel. Some rocket fuel. I don't know why I made so many machines for lube, but I did. In fact, should we turn them around? It's probably better. Right, so we've got lube. So we need to take lube over to somewhere else, I'm sure. Heavy oil. In here, this should be the only use heavy oil, unless it turns out it, you know, backs up or whatever. Oops, missed. Oh, that's a, how we do? Oh, loads of power. Awesome sauce. Are you working? You're working, but very slowly. But that's entirely fine. Right, so where would we want this to come along? So we need it. Yeah, it's fine. Don't want to hit the steel, ideally, but it's not a disaster if we turn out to be quite close. Oh, I've not got them on the hotbar. That. One of them. Some more of them. No. Okay. There we go. Oh. Oh, of course I've not got very many of them, have I? Right, so, what can we do next? So, grab some of them, and them. Why don't I just restock? I'll chuck that in there. So this is still massively backed up, isn't it? So, might be right in my thinking that this was massive overkill. In terms of production volumes. Oh, I got them as well. Okay. Got plenty of copper. Have I got a chest grabbing some steel? I don't think I have I? No. Right. Put one in there. And then... yeah, blue is way backed up. Okay, let's make some more labs then. Nowhere to put them though. Would they fit here? Oh, I might do. Okay. Okay, so it's robotics. Where are we going? We're going for the rocket. So really we want purple science. Because that's what I've started setting up. So to do that one, we need advanced materials. Okay. Right. Oh. Meant for these to all be ghosts, but there you go. I'll chuck these ones on the end as real ones. Do that. No, missed. There we go. So it's the inside ones. Oops. There we go. Keep it even so I don't get confused. And then we can split. Oh, that's perfectly tight, isn't it? That should be interesting if we end up having to do that. In fact, actually, let's just do it now. Like that, like that, and like that. Okay. Did I make 2 more? I did. Oh, I didn't set the research. That was dumb. It's a bad habit of mine, that. Oh, we're off again. Blooming spam bots. How do I ban it again? I can never remember. Ban, there we go. Yeah, so we'll actually research that now then. That was done. Right, we want, say, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gives us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That gives 20 labs. I can't see that being... because that's 6 more. Can't see that being, you know... not enough, as it were. Right, so what we could do... let me think. We need to bring this lube over, don't we? That's what we need to do. I mean, I guess, I said this before, I guess people must actually use them, their services, but it just seems sort of counterproductive, really. But then, it's like that thing of, why do people bother cheating, sort of thing. I mean, not, you know, not in a sort of sense of biasness, as it were, but... actually, let's take it around the outside. But yeah, sort of like, it just always seemed a bit weird to me that... I guess people get... There's more at stake nowadays, but it was always, you know, why bother cheating in... I mean, you know, if you're playing... In fact, we can make that a pump, couldn't we? Have I even got any engines yet? I haven't, have I? Have you stacked back with engines? Have you got engines for me? Yes, you have. Brilliant. I mean, you know, if it's a single-player game, do what you want, you know, but... So if the whole point is multiplayer, and you can only win by cheating, it seems a bit redundant to me. But there you go. Takes all sorts, I guess. Right. So grab this here. Oops. Up there. Over to there. Is that going to reach? That'll reach. Right. So that's lube. We're also going to need to bring some sulfuric acid over. Because we're going to need to do blue circuits. I did the robot frames, didn't I? Because of purple we need prod module. Oh yeah, prod modules. Electric furnaces. Okay. Okay. Do I need to do anything else at the chemicals? Let's have a look what's actually going on. Solid fuel is sort of stacking back, but not really. Is this all full up? That's full, isn't it? Is it acting as a limiter? Kinda. You're not running because you're full of light. Okay. So I might have to do some cracking of light. Okay. Let's just chuck a couple extra of these on. It's a little counterproductive in the sense that it'll just cause it to back up. Oh, they're not fast enough anyway. Okay. Let's make some more of them. Oh, I haven't got any green circuits. You see, I mean, it just backs up onto the belt, basically, so we're not really sort of saving anything. Are you fast enough? You're fast enough. Am I bothered about that? I mean, it's you know, it's stacking back. It's not a problem as such. And how much is actually in here? Oh, it's already filled that. Okay. Starting to wonder whether we might have, you know, full chest's worth of like rocket fuel before we've full rocket's worth of rocket fuel before we've even made the rocket. Oh, hello, the roadblock. I owe to have research queue on while without removing it. You can, unfortunately. You know the box you tick to turn it on. I forgot to turn it on. I should probably have restarted, but yes, you can. Having the queue on does not disable the achievement. And welcome back, by the way, Roadlair, for joining me. But yeah, I just forgot to tick the box, basically. Was the problem? And it doesn't save it. In fact, there's quite a lot you can turn off, basically. So you have to have biters turned on, and but you can turn off evolution. You can turn off expansion. You can set the you know, the distance away they are. You know, the clear area to 600%, which is the maximum. You can't put them on peaceful though. They've got to be on aggressive. But if you turn off in, you know, pollution and expansion, and definitely if you increase the resources, you're never actually going to encounter the biters. There's no reason for you to be anywhere near them, basically. So, although you have to have them on, they're irrelevant, basically. Oh, they should be. I guess we'll find out. Right, so this is going to finish, and then we're going to need to make all of that stuff. Can I make prod module 1s is the question, what I was kind of wondering to myself. I can, so I can set that production up now. Okay, right. We'll have to sort of hope that that sort of doesn't cause itself to back up. Because, I mean, I've no problem putting in cracking and stuff, but it's a bit more messing around than I was anticipating. Did I finish all these? Yes. I'll put these in. Because, say, blue is stacking up at quite a rate, really, so... Oh, run out. Because that's the other question. I'm not sure whether whether it's worth doing one of the accelerants, you know, one of the lab speeds, or not, basically. I mean, I could look at a guide. I know there are loads of guides for how to do this achievement, but as per usual, I want to do it myself, my own way. Right, so, yes, I can't do you yet, can I? No, you're purple, so I can't do you yet. But I can set up the production for both... Well, I can set up the production for prod modules, which are only red and green circuits. But I remember, and I may be wrong about this, but red circuits are also used in the... whatchamacallit, the smelters. So we can have those up as... both coming up as common for all of the production here. Now... my memory again. So if that's a 15-second craft time... Oh, how long does prod take to... take to make? So a prod module, a prod science pack, but it's a third of that, isn't it? So it's 7 seconds. So it's like 2 to 1, basically. Okay. So if I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then I kind of need 3 of these. But it might be useful to have 4 and stick some in a chest, because we may well want to we may well want to stick some in the rocket, or use some to get maybe some free stuff. That sounds unlikely because of the slowdown effect, but you never know. You never know. Right, so if we have... Oops. Messed that up. Red and green coming up here. Like so. They're very slow, so hopefully the yellows will be okay. Right, so we have red and green coming up here. What does that look like? We need... In fact, I should blueprint these in, really, shouldn't I? So I know where everything is properly. Oh, I guess I thought maybe that would be the end. So it was one of that, it's sort of, I guess, disadvantage of, unlike the Mega Base series where I was, you know, everything, I ended up doing loads of it off stream. So I was doing the streams like knowing exactly where I was, but then this, I'm going to do it all on stream. In fact, so this needs to be a branch, doesn't it really? Not a thing. In fact, can I... No, it's not. I was going to say, could I stick it in there? I could, but might be causing myself some problems there. Right, so we need green circuits. Whoops. Oh, missed. Green circuits. And what? I've already decided this is not... It's too squished in and too much messing about. So when we rework it all, we'll spread this out more. So we've got more room to work, basically. Oh, dear. I still need to do spoons as well. Might get started on a blueprint for it soon. You only need 1,000 rocket fuel without modules. Yeah, so I mean, if it's a chest holds like... Does it stack to 10? Hang on. I think it only stacks to 10, doesn't it? So it stacks to 10. A chest is 50. So it's, you know, it's only like 10% in 2 chests, roughly speaking, of a rocket. So, you know, we do need a lot more than I'm making. I want to figure it out yourself, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a... It's dumb, really, you know, because it's an achievement that's almost like the opposite of my play style. So it's like, you know, I'm not naturally suited to doing it. So I should really have looked at some guides or stuff, but I just thought it'd be a bit more fun to do it all in. Also, then to stick to a very simple bus design, I'm sure it could be optimised more for speed. Yeah, I mean, I really love doing buses. I know some people say it's boring and stuff, and I suppose it is in a sense, but I just prefer the organisation of it. Plus, you know, the whole thing where you've got a full bus and it's just belts and belts of material going up or across or whatever direction your bus is going. I love that. That's that's Factorio to me. Is a full bus of material travelling around. Or full belts of material, travelling around. Right, so what was I gonna look at? I was gonna try and work out, because these only have a 5-second craft time. So is one gonna suffice? Because I've got 6 machines, haven't I? Because it's almost 1 a second. I mean, it's not, because the machines are the slow ones and blah blah blah. But ignoring all that, it's almost 1 a second, I think, because it's 7 seconds for 1 potion. So it's got 7-second craft time, basically. Oh no, it's only a third it needs, isn't it? So I should look at it in terms of 21 seconds. So we've got 6 of those. So if it's 6, 12, 18, 24, so it's like a quarter. So I need 1 every 4 seconds, I think, is what I've just sort of worked out there. I think I've confused myself, but it's something like that. So 1 machine making electric furnaces should be fun, because it only takes is it something silly like 2 seconds or something? 5 seconds. So yeah, one might be able to do it. So I suppose we'd be safer with 2. But in terms of the material delivery, the advanced circuits is the slow one anyway. So we should be okay if that's all joined up onto one belt. So in other words, if we try and have a combined red and green here. Oops. Like that. Oh. So if this was a... Oops. In fact, I should... Got that in the wrong place. That should be there. So is... Oh. No spoon the only achievement you haven't got? Or have you got a few more to do? Right, so now we can finally do purple. Excellent. Right, so we've got that there. And then this up here. No. This up here. And then we can combine those two together. Am I going to need them for anything else? Let's assume not for now. Right, so that's making... We're going to make prod modules. We will set the recipe... Oh, I'm making purple. Right, so we want a... Do I want to do a filter inserter? Yeah, go on. Go on then. So it would be here. No, it wouldn't. It would be here. Chest. In fact, we'll move it one up. So in fact, move it 2 up. So it doesn't argue with the other inserter. We want our inserters to be friend. That's always quite important. I'm not going to need a million if I take any. It's just whatever's left, basically. Because it's slightly overproduced in theory. I don't think we're actually producing enough red and green circuits. What am I looking for? I'm looking for prod ones. Oh, we actually made some prods, there we. It's almost going okay. So I reckon 2 machines then. 2 machines then. And we could stick some long-handeds to grab them. And regular ones to output. And then we want to go down here. We want to turn that into an underground. Because that's the input. So, I don't know. Oh, silly Billy. Because that's on the... Oh, I put them both on the same side. Genius. Is that right? Because that's going to be on the inside, going up there. I think. Confused myself there. Right, so you're doing that. And then you want steel and stone brick, don't you? You're going to need some fast inserters. So, we should have stone brick somewhere. Oh, here's stone brick, and there's steel right next to each other. How convenient. Right. When they're literally... Oh. This is the other thing. I'll know how many blooming undergrounds to make and stuff. Right. So, we want that going up there. And then we want that there. And we want one of them. Oh, it's not connected. There we go. In theory, then, that should be enough for them to make a few furnaces. Purple's not quite done yet. Right, how am I going to get... Because this has to be the gold science. Doesn't it? Yes, except it's on Needs to be on the outside, okay. Right, what am I missing to make more of them? Iron plate, okay. Iron plate, okay. More of them. Okay. Right, pipes, gears. Iron plate will leave for the time being. What's on that belt? Oh, nothing. Huh. Yeah, this is all going to need a lot of sorting out, I think. Why are you not running? Just because you're slow. Okay. About to do prods. Good timing. Right, so what next? So we need rocket silo. I guess we could chunk through the 2 speed modules. What do we need for... Oh, you need prod 2 as well, of course. Oh, and prod 3, okay. Does this rocket take... Why does it need prods 2 and 3 then? Strange. Right, so it's weird. I'm looking at the tech tree in a completely different way. Because it's trying to do the minimum number of researches, basically, is where I'm going. So we need to do advanced circuits so that we can do blue circuits. Awesome. Right, so we'll turn this to prod. We'll get some of those being made. Because that's blue science, isn't it? There's like 2 sciences that we need prods for, basically. Unless it's the other way around. It's 2. Is it 2 gold and like 4 prods? No, that needs prod. That needs prod. Because that's blue. That's blue. That's... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. That's blue. That's blue. So those 2 need prods. And then those 2 need gold. For some reason I thought there was another one that needed prod. Okay. Okay. Right. Yes, so they're making them. Okay. Next we should plan for gold science. And then go and make the circuits, I guess. What are you doing? Getting it all wrong. Right. So this would be the gold science. And then I can never remember what the heck goes into gold science. Is that the gold science? Must be, but it's on the other side of the belt. Yeah, okay. Right, yes, so if this was... Oh, let's have a look on that thing. Is it going to be gold science? What does a gold science take? It's blue circuits, flying roboflames, and low density structures. Okay. Okay. So robot frames we have technically made, technically unlocked, but I haven't set up any electric engine production at all. So we could do that as a whole thing, but we also need batteries, you see. I think we need to head back over to oil and do batteries, because we need sulfuric acid for batteries and for blue circuits. Yeah, okay, we'll leave this bit now. I won't mess around here. But that's roughly where I think blue science is probably going to end up. Would it make more sense to stick it in here? Because if we put blue circuits, not blue circuits, if we put gold science in there, Because the other thing I could do, could have been closer. How much stuff have I got? Let's grab some belts. Circuits. Because obviously the green circuits are there. Yeah, this could have been right next to this. And then I'd have had a place here to do, you know, like blue I could do anything in there. That's for later consideration, though, I think. Right, so, I say, let's go and set up. Because what we're actually going to need this volume of material for? Not a lot. Because what I'm thinking... What am I thinking? I'm thinking... We basically have a joint lane of copper. Let's take it this way. Copper and iron plate coming this way. You know, a half and half lane basically. Now, what would be a good way to arrange that? If we do that there, and then that like that. The question will be whether this provides enough stuff, because we obviously need iron plate for batteries. So I'm thinking of putting it here, but in fact, why don't I put it a bit closer? Because we got the sulfur here. And where's water? Water's over here, isn't it? Okay. So how about take a... That's going to be horrible, that junction. The fluid flow. Because we've got the sulfur. And we can feed that directly in here to make sulfuric acid, grabbing some of the iron plate. Because we do need water for it. If I do that, and then maybe, in fact, let's move that up. Because we're not going to need that much sulfuric acid, but, you know. So if this is the sulfuric acid, and then we put it in there, then I can take it that way, and we can have like batteries right here. Which way around do I want them? If I put them... I think we basically then take the batteries back again. It doesn't seem very efficient, but that's fine. Right, so, because batteries require both, you see. Oh, so that's a terrible arrangement, isn't it? So, maybe instead, if I put them like that, effectively like a row of batteries, and they can grab that from there, and then also take that up there. So you'll need to be the other way around, won't you? There you go. So you're now making batteries, and you're grabbing from there. So you want inserters to keep you not inserters, power to keep you happy. You want that. This can be a splitter, I guess. How am I going to feed that round there? It's not Factorio if there's not some spaghetti somewhere. Right. You go that way. You go there. Not the most efficient or elegant of solutions, but a solution nonetheless. Right. Over to there. Over to there. And you need an output. Don't you? Oh, okay. What a dummy. They need... Yeah, it needs sulfur as well, doesn't it? In which case, maybe we do something a little bit more elegant here. Because we can... What can we do there? We can... take a spur off of sulfur. And use... Oh, it would need to be the other way around. That's annoying. Right, so if we... do that... No, that'll work. No, it won't. If that's there... like that... Oh yeah, no, that would work. Okay. Yeah. I say elegant, but I suppose there's different definitions of elegant. Right, and I've put that in the wrong place because I'm a silly person. Oh. Oh. Let's just move it up. Come on. Right, so we need water. Oh, water's over that way. Okay. Let's do it there. That. It's not coming. Did I not connect it? No, I didn't. What an idiot. Made a ratio chart for your spoon run. Okay. Roadflare, the links are disabled. It's like I have auto modding on because I don't really have any actual, mods as it were, and I sometimes get so wrapped up in the game that I don't pay any attention. I'm afraid, which is not great for a streamer, but so the link I'm afraid won't work. In theory, I've got a Discord thing, but I'm rubbish at that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of not a proper streamer. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense, but I need to copy the recipe over. And these need to be fast inserters. Growling up with spoon pile must grow indeed. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day, both of you. In the chat there. Right, I better put... Is there any point in that? I was going to double side this, but this is so slow. In fact, that's not even attached properly. Right, so we got some batteries. Where can I send them? Well, we need to bring the sulfuric acid down, no matter what. So let's go and think about that, because we've got that iron and copper combined line in a bit of an interesting position. Where can I send it? Ah, we're now overlapping with that. Okay, so these are the sorts of things I would imagine will be, fully ironed out, when I rework everything for sort of a proper run at this. But for now, I'll just throw in horrible loops like that and all that. Let's say I'm already decided I'm spreading this out here because it's too much sort of hard work in a sense to... Oh, of course, you're going to have to go round as well. Or are you? Because you're going to be right where the blue circuits are, aren't you, if I do this? So if that's where the blue circuits are going to end up... I mean, I could have just brought... You see, was that sensible? I could have really just brought the sulfuric acid down here anyway and made the batteries locally. Now I've got to belt the batteries all the way down. Been trying to get better at ratios myself, but haven't touched beacons at all. Oh, haven't you? Okay. Beacons are like massively useful, but yeah, they are a bit. They can be a bit. I'll be totally honest. When I get into the stage of doing beacons properly, in my playthroughs, I tend to use the this Factorio lab and the Kirk McDonald calculator and switch to them basically to work out the maths, because I already find the the production speed ratio things on the assembly machines a bit confusing or a bit complicated to work out. So I usually just sort of flip to those, but it's things like this, knowing ratios on these are massively useful. Saves you an awful lot of bother, because you want to do direct insertion as much as you can, really. I'm not very good at doing that, but as much direct insertion as you can is sort of usually quite good, but you need to feed the right things in. So yeah, I think probably would have been more sensible to make the batteries over here, given probably end up with a rocket there sort of thing. Okay, so where were we? I guess we could make... Because we can't actually make blue circuits until that finishes. So what would be worth setting up? Because what I'm wondering, you see, I've not used this line here. I've not used this at all. But if I start using it for batteries, am I shooting myself in the foot? Quite probably, but that's what we're here to learn. That's what we're here to learn. So if we're going to turn this one into batteries, or connect this one to the batteries, yeah, let's do that. Right, so what do I want? I want a few more pipes. Right, so if this one becomes... And you see, I've got multiple... Because I didn't know whether I'm going to need loads of lanes of copper or not. Because copper's a strange one. You don't need a lot of it early game. And then it massively ramps up and you need sort of more of it. Than you do iron, really. Right, so... Why did I put that there? When it should be there. Okay. They already use so much power doing nothing. Yeah, beacons. So before this series of streams, I did a series where I was attempting to do a mega base. And I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to go 12 beacons. So, the 12 beacon arrangement. And I decided to stick to that religiously. And the aim was to do about 5,000 science a minute. And a 12 beacon, 5,000 science a minute build, it turns out, uses, 40 gigawatts, I think it was, just on beacons. Everything else in the base combined, and I mean everything else in the base combined, was only about half the power demand for the beacons. So they were using way more than half of the entire power supply. I had 1.4 million solar panels, and it wasn't actually enough. I couldn't run military science. Now, I'm not saying that the base wasn't efficient. I'm not pretending that in any sense at all. But so we're nowhere near producing enough red circuits, are we? But then it's not doing anything with purple science, so does that matter? You know, we've got great big stacks of purple here. Maybe I shouldn't have turned it on straight away. Almost feels like I'm ahead of myself with the sciences, really. I should maybe focus more earlier on the other production. Right, so we could do the... I mean, we could set that up, because they're really slow to make. And they require things we've already got. It'd be a good way of getting rid of petroleum as well in plastic. Yeah, I think we'll set them up because we need them for gold science as well. So we'll get them going. I'll get that researching, rather. Would that give me everything for gold science then? It would. So what we could do is we could research low density structures and then work on the gold. And while that's doing, I can do those other two, you know, the prod and speed researches, because they're not that long. Yeah, let's do that then. But we'll leave the batteries. I'm not actually going to set that up yet. Oh, I didn't. I keep doing this. Can I get better at that? What was I going to do? I was going to do that, and I didn't hit the button. Right, yes, so what we can do is we can now set up blue circuits in theory. How are we going to do that? So if we... bit of space. Because we need even more red circuits. So let's assume we end up putting a second set of this in. Yeah. Just to do parallel production rather than actual, you know, massive speed boosts to it. So if we then leave a little bit of space, just in case. And then this... oh, I can't actually... wait. Oh, it's blue machines again. I thought they got rid of that conditionality on the type of machine. But I guess not. Why have I not got any gears? Yeah, so I thought they got rid of the whole must-have blue machines to make certain things. Yeah, there you go. It must be the fluid connection. Fluid connections only work for blue machines. But say, I thought they got rid of all that. Because didn't used to grey machines didn't used to be able to make anything with more than like 2 components. It's like Satisfactory where it has the different types of machines. Beacon saves space and UPS. I mean, yes and no is kind of the answer to that, because they save UPS in the sense that, well, how to put it? Essentially, you can get away with... I don't need a bunch of these, aren't I? You can get away with, like, power being solar, and that's what saves you UPS, basically. Rather than the actual beacons themselves really saving you anything. Because basically what I ended up deciding, my sort of conclusion to it was basically that, oh, wrong way, was that some things are worth 12 beaconing for sure. I would still 12 beacon steel, and probably purple science, and maybe gold science. But that would be about it. Labs is a tricky one because it sort of depends on what you're trying to achieve in terms of you know, amount of science and why have I put that there? You know, what your sort of tolerances are really, because it's more about sort of what footprint you've got, how you want to deliver the science. You see, because I set up a science thing where it was basically like, how do I explain it? It was delivering across, so it's basically an array of 16 by 16 labs, and that meant I could unload from my trains. Oh. Why is that not? I guess I've put it in the wrong place, haven't I? Well, that meant I could unload from my trains in a particularly a way that was useful for me. It meant I didn't have to balance them and stuff like that, but that constrained the number of labs, basically. You know, it meant I had to have exactly this number of labs. So they ended up with 10 beacons because that was, you know, that allowed me to do that array. But if you're not that bothered, if you don't mind balancing them, you've got the room and etc, etc. Where the heck are green circuits? They're all the way up there, okay. Then, you know, maybe 12 beacons is better, or 8 beacons is better. But generally speaking, the big advantage 8 beacons give you, really, is they obviously, you know, compensate for prod modules, which you absolutely want and need. Oh, I've run out of undergrounds, have I? What you? Oh, you're going to need fast inserters anyway, aren't you? So that's some blue circuits being made. I have, again, it's another one I have no idea what's a good number of them to do. We can support more grey machines here. Yeah, they let you do, you know, how to put it. Do I really need fast inserters on these? They let you have. They give you more options, basically. 8 beacon setups, because you can do direct insertion, which you can't in 12 because it's, well, the beacons are in the way. Basically. And there's a lot of things like green circuits where actually 8 beacon and 12 beacon are basically the same, because they're produced so quickly anyway that you just gonna make some more of them in case. Yeah, you make them so quickly that having 12 beacons like saves you like 0.1 of a second or something. It's like a almost like sarcastically small saving, which is not worth it, basically, because that, you know, in order to achieve that, you've got to have a ridiculous amount of power, basically. I don't think I explained that very well, but basically, some things are worth. It's 12 beacons are worth considering for. If you really need the space, you know, if you're doing something like purple, where it requires a, you know, enormous amount of machines to make 5,000 a minute or whatever you're going for. You can, of course, parallelize as well, is another option. So effectively, if you think more in terms of a sort of modular setup, we have... one module produces 1,000 science sort of thing, and then make 5 of them. But then you're sort of condemning yourself to having more and more trains, which isn't. People get a bit worried, I think, about UPS. And what I found with the thing is that actually it's not as big a. It's like it's a problem. But it's a problem because launching rockets is a massive UPS drain, basically. And you're not going to be able to avoid launching rockets. The things people worry about... It's like I think nuclear would have worked for my base. I'd have needed a better nuclear design. But actually it probably could have supplied like half my power or something and not really affected UPS that much. Not as much as people think, anyway. What's another one? Fluids. People worry about fluids. The problem with... And I'm not saying either of these things are good. You know, people worry about fluids, but they worry about the wrong thing for fluids. The problem with fluids is the fluid mechanics. Moving fluids about is just a mess. It just doesn't work properly. Or doesn't work sensibly. But actual fluids impacting UPS is not as big a problem as people think it is. Or that's what I found anyway. So it's not quite a full belt. Are the blues eating all the circuits? They kind of are. They're not really, so we do need more. Can we support more? This is where I'm thinking we probably do need, a second smelting array of copper, you see, because we're going to need lots of copper, lots of green circuits to even make any red and blue circuits. Not quite sure why I've done it like that, but there you go. I might as well stick that in. Right, so if we grab this one in the middle. No? We'll grab that one. Should tile a bit better. Yeah, it was a fun exercise. I mean, the reason I did it on stream was because I get bored, basically. I have tried to do mega bases before. And just ended up getting really, really bored. And that's it's a reflection on me rather than the game or anything. I just tend to get to a point where it's like, oh, I've run out of power poles now. Am I going to run out of these as well? Yeah, crikey. Running out of everything. I think that was a 1.0 change. Yeah, referring to the fluids and stuff. Belly. You're saying my memory was I'm going to need basically everything. Let's grab a bit of everything. Not like I'm sort of running out of inventory room. Got crunchy too, but the leaves in my lawn. I mean, it can't always be. I think under 10,000 science per minute, most decent PCs will be just fine. Yeah, say it's not a bigger problem. I think people get into that sort of thing of, it's gonna UPS, and it really isn't a problem, unless you are talking, gigantic production numbers, like that 10,000. And then, as I say, so the problem with trains, I didn't finish that thought, but the problem with trains really is about flow. So it's about, it's a bit like belts. I mean, trains, if you think about it, are sort of a weird compressed belt. It's like a chest on a belt, effectively, if you sort of think about it abstractly. And that's the problem, that you're, a belt can only fit 15 items per second through. A yellow belt, so trains have the same issue. You can only fit a certain amount through a certain amount of track. And it has a weird... One of the things with how it does trains is because of the whole... So they're trying to optimise pathing, essentially. In the sense that... Whoops. That's not going to disconnect all of my copper, is it? Oh. They're trying to optimise the pathing. Is this sensible? It's probably not a sensible one to attach, to be honest with you. But we do that. Yeah, trying to optimise the pathing, and the way they're doing that is by making the trains select their path at the start of a journey and not repath unless they sort of absolutely have to. Which is entirely sensible way of minimising the amount of pathing and the calculations and etc. associated with that. But what it means is if you have multiple parallel train lines, they don't actually increase your flow a lot because the trains will decide, right, I'm going down this particular path. And that's it. They will stick on that path until they really, really have to go a different route. It's like when I started with trains, I did the classic thing of putting in, like the crossing junctions. So, like when you you have two, like fork basically. So you have two lines going up and you try and fork between them, in theory to give the trains more options of paths to use. But they don't ever use them because they start at the start of the journey to decide what their path is going to be and stick to it. And it's like, therefore, and they don't. The things you would hope that they would consider when they're doing that decision are there going to be trains in the way and all that sort of stuff. They either can't possibly know, or aren't really that important for their calculations. So they can all end up traffic jammed on one particular train, line, and then you've set up a second line a second parallel line for the trains, and none of them use it basically. The only way you can do that sort of thing is if you essentially force the issue by, say, having one set of lane of effectively turning it into a bus. So you have one line of for copper, one line for iron, one line for steel, something like that, and then a mixed one maybe. But then it's a gigantic amount of space. Plus, you're going to end up with a large number of crossings. And crossings are horrendous for throughput, basically. So the constraint with trains, really, is throughput. And so you want to sort of minimise the number of trains. For throughput reasons. But people think, or assume, that you want to minimise them for UPS. But you don't, really. It's not the UPS that kills you, it's the throughput. Right, so I had hooked this up, so we might just be able to attach the copper. There we go. Right. Cool, so I got more copper eventually coming in. It'll take a while for that to flow through. Oh, I need to connect it as well. Oh. Low density structures. Okay, right. So now we can set that up. Again, this is another one I have no idea how many is going to be sensible for this, because we only need like a few thousand purple, few thousand gold. So if that's there. Yeah, light oil is a real problem. I bet, are those... Oh, it's all backed up, isn't it? Okay. Maybe if I do the old... dirty... I could make some steel chests, couldn't I? That'll do us. So I can just manually feed those on. So plastic is really... struggling, I suspect, because there's just not enough petroleum, because it's all backed up into light. So we might have to do some cracking, even though I was hoping to avoid that complexity. We've now got... Oh, blues are backed up. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, I never started the research, did I? So, we'll do the gold. Yeah, I'm really bad with that. So that started. So we'll get gold going. And so it sort of feels like possibly I've preempted the need for purple. Because look, we've now got, you know, all of this sat here without any use for it for quite a while. Because that's not going to be very good in that it'll only be these lot eating the purple. And these will end up sat there doing nothing. Which is not ideal. Not that they've got the inserters to do it, have they? I mean, is that going to matter in the... I'm only trying to do it in 8 hours. So it might not be an issue, but... Anyway, right, so... We've now got... What have we got? We've got... So we're going to want to make utility science. And utility science requires blue circuits we're making, flying robot frames, which we can worry about later, and low density structures. So that's what we want to make now. Okay, and low density structures, which we've just finished, require 20 seconds to craft. Wow. Because we're going to need like 1,000 of them. And that's 20 seconds, you know, at Unity speed. So actually, in fact, we're probably best off using blue machines with a speed module, maybe? Maybe a speed and a prod? Because they're so slow. That might not be bad. Might be beneficial to have that. You know, especially given I've already, you know, probably got a chest worth of prods sat around. Huh. Maybe even 2 speeds and a prod. Anyway, so 20 seconds to make one. And then if we say we end up with, because these are three crafts and yeah, it's the same ratio. So if we say we're going to make 6 machines again, then we would need basically one every 3 seconds. Well, call it one every 12, 18, one every 4 seconds. But we need 3. So we need 3. So it's basically 1 a second, is it? So every 7 seconds we would need a low density structure if we had 1 machine. But we got 6, so it's effectively 1 every second. Right. That's a lot. But then I guess we can siphon some off for the rocket. Make it a common construction thing. But that is a lot. So, we would need 20... In fact, yeah, we're going to have to go blue, I think, aren't we? Because that's only 8 machines. Hmm. 2, 4, 6, 8. So in theory it would be this many? Yeah. I don't think that's going to work somehow. Okay, let's make them. And then this would be a split somewhere. There's some going over to the gold science. Low density structures. Okay. Probably not making enough plastic then if it's chugging because of light backing up. This is where the speedrunners are particularly clever, I think, in that they've all worked out, you know, how to do... Oh, come on, there's got to be some trees somewhere. All the way up there. Okay, let's go and get some trees. Yeah, they've all, you know, they know... Because there's that... It's not cost benefit, is it? That sort of... thing of how much of each to make, given you want about, so you know, low density structures in particular, you want to sort of balance how many you need for the actually relatively small number of gold sites you need, and how many for the actual rocket. And at what point is it better to hand make things? And because I do know they do a lot of handcrafting with the speed runs, which seemed weird to me first time I saw one. But when you think, you know, the grey machines only operate at 3/4 of human speed, so it's actually quite a time saving, really. How many we got now? Right, let's give me a good stack of them. A bit more poles. So I've got 2 hours left for spoon. Obviously we're not going to do that, but we might well do the 9 hours for Chit Chat. Right, so that's that one. Now I can do the extra. So what we've got left basically are these speed modules and these prod modules, and then RCUs, which are a real pain to make because they're blues and speeds. Okay, we've got to be in the territory there of it's quicker to handcraft like half of them for the rocket. I suppose also we don't need to feed them into anything, so we can actually turn off once we've done these sciences that require the prods and the, you know, once we've done enough gold and purple, we could turn off the production for them, which would free up the resources to do other stuff. Ah, that's interesting. Right, anyway, let's do the actual these two, which won't take long, but give me a chance to sort of finish off making stuff. Right, so what we want here, and we're going to need some more of them, and them, and them, is something coming up the middle. Aren't these 20 copper? Yeah, so copper coming up the middle. Oh, am I out of them as well? Crikey. And where is the copper? Copper is here. Oops. It's that one, isn't it? Okay. Oh. Get that right in a minute. Don't know if copper's going to be needed for anything else, but we'll see. Right, and then your output side up. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Okay, and then input there. Do. Input on the middle. Output there. Okay, and then on the outside, we want a combined steel and plastic. Oops. So your plastic. Let's do two. Yeah, let's do two offshoots rather than split one, because I suspect if we split one, we might run into. Ooh, this would be interesting. In fact, I'm not going to need any stone bricks, so I can get rid of that. And then, what am I trying to achieve there? If I do it on the other side, we don't need that. Oops. Like that. There we go. That'll work. Messy, but that'll work. And then we want something similar here. Except that should be a splitter. Splitter. And then underground that. Don't think I'll need any more plastic, but we'll have to see. Right, and inserters here. Hopefully they'll sort of auto-clean the belt. Hey, that was quick. I need you as well, apparently. Oh. In fact, how are we doing for power? I haven't looked in a while. Oh, getting back to about halfway. So it looks like we might need... Oh, right, I've actually run out of blue. Okay. I guess that's because they are very quick researches then. More inserters. Right, so if I hand make a few of those. 20. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, putting the inserters on. Okay. Yeah, so these should clear up this light belt pollution because there's such big demand for everything that's going in. So it shouldn't be a problem of getting stuck at any point. Okay. So now we kind of need to take these to wherever the rockets are going to be, which I don't actually know yet. And also to yellow science. Have we finished yellow science now? I've lost track. So, if that's yellow science, so I need 3 low density structures. So if I put them there, and then we have 6 of these again. Again, this sort of feels like overkill, given the relatively low number in total that we need. But I say, we shall see what happens. So if I maybe do that there, and it needs to be on that side of the belt, doesn't it? Okay. So outputs there. Inputs here. This should get interesting. Because blue circuits is obviously just something we can bring up. Now that we're making them. Right, up there. I've not made any concrete, have I? That's what I was going to do. Oh, no. That needs to be on one side of the belt. Like that. And preferably not that side, actually. Like that. There we go. Right. So it's a ridiculously slow trickle of everything, isn't it? Because plastic is clearly not coping. Okay, let's go and try and fix that problem. Which, as I say, may well boil down to too much light oil. Because I can see this pulsing, which, given how sort of productive it is, that doesn't sort of make sense. Yeah, this is crammed up, isn't it? Look. Yeah, look at that. So, option would be to extend this, or crack some of it into petroleum. I mean, since this is... Yeah, okay, let's crack some into petroleum. So, if we do it here, would that be most sensible? Yeah, because these aren't even running fully. Okay. If we do it here... Yeah, okay. Right. Glad I made those extra labs now. Not that I made too many, but... There's a part of me that almost refuses to do proper maths with the fluids. Almost like as a weird sort of protest. Because of how terrible the fluid mechanics are. I might do it just single-sided rather than the fancy... Wrong one. Fancy double-siding. Because I think if we just have a row... Oh, why have I... Oops. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, it'd have been better. Oh well. Right, so if we bring this down here, and then connect these up, like this. Oops. Like that. Because this is the water here. Hopefully I've not cross-polluted any lines there, but we shall soon see. Right, click these. Now, what we really want is a tank on here and a pump, so that... so that we can put a bit of... In fact, I don't even... Can I even do... Yeah, I can't do logic, can I? Because I haven't researched it. Ah, okay. Just working on the assumption that I've done it. And of course I haven't done it. That's a terrible position for that anyway. The things you assume you do in your normal, playthrough. Right, let's stick a pump in anyway. And then... Because this appears to have ground to a halt. Is that because there's no blue science happening? Because there wouldn't have been any sulfuric... Oh, there's loads of sulfur. Okay. Huh. That's a bit tricky, isn't it? I guess in a way it's sort of self-limiting, because... Yeah, you see. No, it isn't, is it? How do I solve that problem, I wonder? Yeah, it might be worth sticking some more modules in them as well. So if we put, say, 1 speed in, and they'll go and grab whatever should have brought them over, really. I mean, maybe we just need more oil, really. We could also, I mean, we could, because I did make a bunch of them, didn't I? So what we could do, we could add some of these in and use simple oil. And that would give us a bit more petroleum without too much hassle. Oh. Right. So, if these are all simple... Unfortunately, that's the wrong one, isn't it? Almost perfectly lined up there. Oh well. Right, so maybe we just stick that there. There we want power. Like that. Want this output connected. I'm glad they did the whole... I was chronic for connecting... Because the original simple oil, you could stick it on in either one. And I always connected it to the wrong one. Even with... Because they were like... what do you call them? Not... what do you call it? Oh, is there not even enough oil? Oh, I don't suppose there would be. Oh, I've not hooked that up properly. That's why there's no oil. Really? You're not... Oh. Fluids, man. Fluids. Let's just stick a pump in, see if that helps. Maybe connect that one. Oops. Earlier in. As well. Like that. Yeah. Okay, let's go and see why this has just completely stopped, because that's a problem. Why have you completely stopped? The plastics at least started flowing again. Is it the plastic that's a problem? Because it's maybe all going to red circuits now? Or is it just... Why are you not working? You're not working, so you haven't got red circuits. And red circuits aren't happening because of a lack of plastic. Okay, so we've sort of sorted the same problem out. Well, the fundamental problem out-ish. Probably don't have enough red circuit production full stop. Right, let's see if we can chuck a couple of extra... I was going to get the prod modules, wasn't I? Where are they? There they are. Right, so grab these. I thought I already grabbed these. And then... Oh, so my claims of it self-cleaning were clearly rubbish. Right, so we want to get... turn these into blue machines now that we've made them. And then we can stick some... There's not going to be enough plastic, is there? Right. Okay. Okay. What else do you need? You need flying robot frames, which we need to put here, really. But how many do I... Because they're, like, ridiculously slow to make as well. So that is a 10-second crafting time. 20 seconds. But then we're at the stage where it's like... Oops. Does it in a sense matter how quickly / slowly they're made? Especially since I'm not going to make bots, as it were. In fact, let's move them down. But then, what if I do on the run proper? Okay. So you're going to need... Oh no, this gets more complicated, doesn't it? Because you need quite a lot of ingredients. Okay, so let's just work through it. You need steel, batteries, green circuits, and electric engine units. Electric engine units we will have to make because we've not got them anywhere. Yeah, we have to make both of them. Right, okay, fine. They're very slow though. Very slow, okay. But what do you need ratio-wise? It's green circuits you need most of, okay. And then batteries. So I'll put green circuits and batteries on this one. This should be the last thing we're making with batteries. I don't think we need them for RCUs. And this is all my batteries here. So we should be able to basically stick them together and do that. Oh, we have red. Are we out of power already? What's happened there? What's happened there? We were doing okay with power, weren't we? Not had some... Oh, is this a cascade failure that's happened? Well... Suddenly we've not got enough power to mine... Yeah, okay. Okay, let's stick some of these in. Right, let's do it with... I guess that's because I started sticking, you know... Oh! Modules and beacons and things. Okay. So we're going to need a bit more than that, I think. How many of them have I got? Another 80. Okay. So hopefully that'll at least get that moving again. But we need to put in the rest of these boilers and stuff. 7, 8, 9, 10. What do I need? Iron plate. Okay. Then I haven't got a water. Bet I haven't got a water pump. I won't have any of them either, will I? Okay. We need iron plate. We're doing so well there. I guess that's just yeah, sudden ramp up in power demand. So we got to there, basically. And then I bet it was browning out for a while, and I just never noticed. Okay. We'll have tons of iron plate over here then. Right. Can I grab some cogs to help speed it along as well? Oh. Yeah. So the answer to the question, am I going to be able to get away with one steam array, is no. But I was kind of expecting that. When I did the lazy person award, was it run out again? Blimey. Okay. We might have to arrange this such that we've got... Oh. So my hated burner phase of the game, we might have to ensure we've got some sort of backup. Oh. Burner miner drills and that. But I suppose I will know, now that I know I need more, I'll make more, if you see what I mean. This is an ignorance problem rather than a needing to rely more on burner mining drills. Issue, I would say. What's... Oh, there's a tree in the way. There's always a tree in the way. I think I've still got the burner mining drills in the inventory actually, so we could go and chuck a couple of them down. Get the thing flowing again. Oops. Them. Oh, I didn't start making them. 28. And I need some more of them. How many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Is it 12? Something like that. Right, I will put them on. I'm not a big fan of the whole burner phase of the game. Like, full stop. Particularly given that electricity is basically available from the beginning. I usually prefer to transition to that, you know, as quickly as I possibly can. But clearly this has been problematic. So what we could do, because the steel's way overkill. We don't need anything like that amount of steel. So to get this kick-started, we could just pinch a little bit of coal from here. Ow. That's on these belts. Oh. Find it with the wrong one. Oh dear. Don't do that. And just sort of feed that back into itself. That's a bit on the horrible side, but it'll get some of that coal moving over and hopefully create a bit of a virtuous circle. We could also, as I say, stick some of these on. Put one there. Feed a tiny little bit extra in as well. Should have put that further down, actually. In fact, let's stick one in further down. Oops. I'm terrible with power. I mean, it's I had huge problems with power in the Mega Base series as well. Oh. So it should create a bit of a virtuous circle where it's like, it will suddenly, you know, we'll get enough coal to power the boilers to... Oh, I didn't put the blooming burner inserters on, did I? Yeah, get enough coal to power the miners that will provide enough power to fuel the boilers to the ... It might actually be worthwhile keeping that there because to some extent I'm not sure that amount of miners will feed that amount of boilers. Anyway, let's stick the last ones on and see where we are. There we go. You've not got fuel, why not? Yeah, you've not got fuel because there's not enough coal. Okay. Yeah, I might need to rethink that to some extent. You see, I set all this up and we just don't need this amount of steel, so that was kind of a waste of time, effectively. I just, because there'll be the backup effect, where it's like, you know, these will try and take or hold like 5 bits of coal, so they'll take stuff off the belt more than they need, and then they'll stop and it'll slowly move down. Yeah, well, hopefully that'll sort that. But yeah, rather ironic. Oh, I guess it was obviously tailing off and tailing off and tailing off. Yeah. Yeah, I managed to have power problems in the Mega Base series. In fact, loads of power problems. Right, where were we? We were making some robot frames. As you do. Right, so we've now got batteries. We need steel and robot frames. So if we put steel on this side of the belt, not robot frames, we need electric engines, don't we? They're half the speed, aren't they? So we only need sort of 3 of them. Twice the speed, rather, not half the speed. Oh, it needs fluid, so it needs the blue machines. Okay. Okay, game. Have it your way. And we need to put them on this. In fact, if it needs fluids, I might be better off just spacing them out. Do something like this. In fact, there we go. Right, so then we can put that in there, and we need lube in these electric engines. Why did I do that? That was dumb. Because what I meant to do was that. Now we can do that. Ah. Let's just do 4 of these because it's no particular bother. There we go. And what do you need? You need greens? Oh, you need green circuits, do you? You need green circuits, do you? And regular engines and lube. I've obviously put them on the wrong side. Or have I? No, it's going to be easier to bring the lube up this way, isn't it? Right, where is the lube? Something I'm sure that's been said in many a heated moment. Right. Over here. Okay. Connect these up. There we go. So you've got lube, you've got green circuits, you need engines as well, which my memory is 1-to-1. And it's still... yeah, okay. They could probably be greys, but whatever. Oh. Wait, does it need... what does it need most of? 2 pipes, okay. Only 2, though. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so pop that there, and that there. Speed Module 3 seems to be taking a remarkably long time. I guess it's been hit again by the fact that I ran out of power. But it's taking a long time. We need these, which we've not used for a while. And we need them, well, we need them... if we go like that... That's annoying. Let's just do that. In fact, why don't I combine them together? Like that. So I could have put this on the other side. Oh well. Oh. Are you going to be okay? Okay. So you need the engines. You'll make engines. You need steel as well. Why have you not got steel? You've not got steel because you don't have inserters. Okay, so that gives you steel. You'll grab electric engines once they're made. Then you'll have everything you need, and you'll start chunking away with the gold science. Let's just have a look on this blue cert. Yeah, it's the red circuits again. And is that just pathetic number of machines issue? Nothing's run out of stuff. Ah, no, they are running out of stuff. Okay. We could stick in those. That would slightly speed it up. think we probably need a second, even if we don't really fill it out. How are we doing on power now? Yeah, look at that. That was the pre-issue, post-issue. Okay. Right, what do I need to do here? I need to... rearrange the pipes first thing. Right. Right. So this needs to be plastic and green again. Which I've done this abomination here. Because why not? So let's just copy it, because it works, even if it's a bit horrible. So that there. That there. No, don't go on both sides. And then you underneath. Oh, I've run out of them again. What am I out of? I'm plate again. Crikey. No, don't want any red belts. No, I've done it again. I miss clicking because it's got a bit intense. So, in a sense, not had any kind of a pause. Right, we're going to need more of them, more of them. Always thought I'd need more red circuits, to be honest with you. It's one of the sneaky bottlenecks of the game, red circuits. Because they would take a ridiculously long amount of time to make. What do I want? Oh, I need copper, don't I? Oh, crikey. Okay, so that's going to use up like all of our copper. See, I shouldn't have used that belt for the batteries. Okay. Right, let's just grab some bits and pieces. Yeah, Speed Module 3 is really chugging overall. Green circuits. More of them. Oh. What was I going to do with those prod modules? Was I think I was going to stick them in. Don't remember. Must have been oil. I'm going to stick them in oil, I think. Yeah. deposit these in here. Get rid of them. Crikey. Right. Is this just... Oh, it's 300. No wonder it's taking so long. Wow, okay. Oh, these must be the same then. Yeah, it goes up to 300. Okay. Oh, it does. So yeah, of course, the silo itself requires a bunch of purple and gold. Okay. But we can start stacking things up, so we can make everything but the RCUs. So, right, what we need to make the actual silo is like, is it 1,000 concrete? Yeah, 1,000 concrete. 200 electric engines. 1,000 steel plate. Crikey. So really, we should stick some of these electric engines we're making in a chest. We should find somewhere nice and simple to make concrete. Steel's not going to be a problem. In fact, I could stick some steel in the chest at the same place. Why are you not running? Because you lack engines. Why do you lack engines? Because you don't have... Oh! Line pollution. Okay. Right, yes, so if we do a couple of chests here. Why have I put them there? Because I'm an idiot. Right, a couple of chests here. Full of stuff again. Yes, of course. Couple of chests there. No, don't put the steel in yet. And then, so you're going to do steel, and you're going to do lucky engines. And I need 1,000 steel. And 200, they're 50, aren't they? 200 Lecky engines. Which I'm not even making hardly any. These are slow. Maybe... It's full of load. I got it wrong. Oh, that's 10 seconds. And that's 20 seconds. Okay. Oh! No wonder that one's not running. What about you? Yeah, it's just the fact that these are just slow, basically. It'll catch up with itself. Okay, so we need to make some concrete. How are we doing on time? So it's 5:30. I've got my timing completely wrong there, haven't I? Because if I was to go... So I've got 1 hour and 20 left on that one. So, but I've got 40 minutes left on stream. So I'd need to stream till about 7 o'clock. We'll have to pick it up tomorrow, I think, because I can't really afford to do that, to be honest with you. Can't stream till 7 today. Could do tomorrow, but not today. Right, so, given we got iron ore here... Oh no, we need... Don't we need stone brick? So concrete is bizarrely, to be totally frank. How they came up with this recipe, I don't know. But there you go. It's just a balancing thing. But it's stone brick, iron ore, and water. Stone brick, iron ore, and water. And of course, it's going to need a level 2 machine. So I've got 2 extra burner inserters, haven't I? How about I just chuck them in there? So, iron ore, stone brick and water. Now, where is the stone brick? Oh, it's here. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's siphon off a bit of iron ore from up there. Bit of stone brick from here. And we can bring the water over. Yeah, okay. So, in a sense, it doesn't... because it's one of those recipes, isn't it? In fact, why don't I put that a bit further up? Yeah. Right, so if I do this trick, and then... Nope, wrong ones. Oh, that's a bit annoying. What am I doing here? I'm trying to put... No, these need to be either side of a lever to assembler. I just need 1,000, don't I? I don't need to actually... No, I don't need them for anything else. So this is concrete. Obviously, I've put that in the way. So it needs... It's very quick, isn't it, though? Oh, no, 10 seconds. That's not quick. Yeah, I'm making lots of mistakes here. Right, that there and that there. And then we want, say, one there. Chest there. Capped chest. Okay. Now we need to plumb it into some water. Get there eventually. So we want whatever water's left over here. Might have been better to bring the belts over rather than rely on dodgy fluid mechanics. Oh, finally. Finally. Right, do that one. Finally. Gonna stick a pump in. See if that'll maybe help. Right. I mean, you're not going to need to be... I don't know. Power is about half power. So I might need some more. If I did, I didn't. Oh, I did put a radar. So at least the belt's full. Okay. So this weird circulatory arrangement has kept the belt full. Okay. So yeah, so that'll chunk away on some concrete, hopefully. Hopefully the water will hold up. I did that because I was a bit worried it would need a lot faster stuff, but as it turns out, it's not actually that much. So I could have just... Because I was thinking it might need to become an entire belt, but it looks like it's probably fine. Probably fine. 1,000 is a lot of concrete. Oh, right. I guess this is because the plastic and stuff has started flowing again. And I bet the blue circuit lane has filled up. Right, so we need to do that one as well. Are we literally then just waiting on rocket control unit? Because they require gold. Let's start that. I don't quite know why you need to do the up to level 3. It doesn't sort of make logical sense. Making up to level 3 prod modules and speed modules. Right, so let's go and have a look at everything over here. There you go. You see, I got a load of blooming wasted science there. Oh. Chuck them in there. Oh. Okay. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Right, so what do we need to do next then? So basically, we need to kind of think where we're going to put the rocket. It does feel like here would be quite a good spot, or, I mean, really there, I think would be kind of ideal. But obviously I put that in the way. Oh, I'm on a belt. Drifting down the bus. How many electric engines are in there now? Oh, right, okay. That's fine as well. So that's the point. I'm going to need more room in my inventory, aren't I? Right, let's tidy some of this up then. So we can stick these in here. I've got far too much belt, really. So put some of that back, or just chuck it in here, couldn't I? Okay. What about the stone? What am I going to do with the stone? Chuck it in the furnaces. Okay. Burner mining drills and they're all accidents effectively, so we'll just chuck them in a chest here. In fact, let's put them in this one. So we don't really... They're basically in the wrong place, and I just picked them up rather than sort of replacing them. Get rid of that. Got 2 prod modules, so we could stick them in somewhere. Oh, I've never put prods in the science machines. Okay. Let's do that then. Wait, there are only 2 prod modules in there. Why was that? Because red circuits are basically dead again. See, how many blue circuits am I going to really need? A lot, but not that many. What are you all waiting for? You're waiting on nothing. Okay. So if we chuck another one of these in. Oops. Gets us a little bit more without running out of copper. Probably support another one here as well. I'm thinking maybe the real solution to this is to upgrade the machines. Yeah, I think if we upgrade the machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So I need more. I'll probably have to put some speeds in the cable machines to kind of compensate. One, two, three, four. Yeah, I've always kind of figured red circuits would be the bottleneck, basically. Okay, so I say we need to decide, or I need to decide, I guess. Not foisting the blame on you guys. Right, where am I going to put the rocket? Where's most sensible? Because what I need to make the rocket. Why don't I put it here somewhere? Because rocket parts are solid fuel, aren't they? Sorry, rocket fuel, low density structures, and RCUs. And both the low density structures are here. The RCUs are gonna be here, almost certainly. It might even be better to be there because what do they tell you again? They're blue circuits and speed modules. And speed modules, of course, are red and green circuits, which is effectively the same stuff again. Yeah, I think if we put the rocket sort of here, and then the RCU production is here, because we've got everything nice and close then, apart from the rocket fuel. And I can probably ferry that over as quick as, you know, as quick as anything else. How many of these have we got now? So we're going to have got 200 of them. We've already got 1,000 of them. Yeah, okay. Can I plan any of that out? This feels weird to have dead time. Which suggests I haven't actually got dead time. I put them in the wrong ones really, didn't I? I just don't know what to do next. We're probably going to need more green, because this isn't saturated, this. Oh, we're not fully eating the iron and the copper. And it's still getting through. So yeah, if we put another green in, sort of while we wait. That seems to be a sensible solution. There. This is quite a messy arrangement I made with it, isn't it? Anybody would think I was kind of panicking a bit. Output. I wonder how many green circuit machines I've made in my time. Must literally be tens of thousands. So that doesn't... I mean, that got to be close to saturating the line, but we could stick some blue ones in at the end instead. In fact, why don't we just do that? Because I've got them already. So make some of these blue ones. Oh. Helps if you put the all the inserters in first though. Oh, I've run out. Right, let's go and get some more. So yeah, probably could do more copper as well. But not really a full lane. But we might as well go and fill that out. What was I doing? I was putting the blue ones on the end. To kind of eat the line a bit more. Make sure we saturate, but we're probably then going to need... Yeah. Upgrade to fast inserters. Okay. Oops. Even more. Yeah, more copper needed. Right. Right. That's not a problem. Power situation. Ooh. Over halfway. Right. Oh. That one's missing one. Why have you all stopped? Oh, you're now eating all the iron, are you? Okay. Oh, is that not a priority? Oh, right, okay. That should be output priority right. So I'll probably do it more iron as well, ultimately. Although I've got a lot... Look at that. That's not doing anything. So that's pointless. In fact... Yeah. What? What have I done there? Let's rebalance that. Oh. What in the heck have I done there? I've made a real mess there. We can hook some more iron and copper in though. While we wait for the sciences to do. How the heck have I managed to do that mess? Right, so we want more fast inserters? Yeah. Okay. this, and then I guess this will become a... What? No, it won't. If someone could go back and tell past me not to do such a big mess, that would be brilliant. Right, so I guess we'll hook this in. Gonna need a lot more inserters though, aren't I? I mean, you can tell it's bad because this isn't actually flowing, and yet I'm sort of running out. But we'll just stopgap that problem with just more production. Gonna run out of furnaces now as well. Okay. Yep. Right. Oops. Right, so we need furnaces, which, where the heck are furnaces? Didn't I even stop making furnaces? Horrible feeling I stopped making furnaces. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, let's grab a bit of that. And then chuck one of them in there. If I didn't, I don't know where that machine is. Making those. Let's hand make a few. Don't know. Don't know. Okay, and then inserters again. Okay. Oh. Okay, so that's them. Now, need to hook it in. Oh, I already hooked it in. Okay. I think maybe I should do this that I was thinking about here. So we'll... do something like that, in case I desperately suddenly find I need the fourth one. Shouldn't do, but you know, you never know. Oh, I made a right mess here, haven't I? Yeah, that's just not going to work. Okay. I mean, look at all the batteries on that belt. I don't really need to bother, full stop, really. Right, so the next one then is rocket silo. Rocket control units. What have you done here? Let's just start again. So we got 3 lanes. Right, and then we've got factories jumping across. Like so. Okay, then we've got an offshoot. Going the other way. Let's just do it far over. Oops. Gonna hook more copper in there, but if we do. So the iron needs to be on that side. And then the copper needs to be on this side. Oh. Yeah, I'm going a little bit stir crazy with this. Right. I guess we'll fill in this one. Oh, I didn't set the research going. Right, let's do that one. Oops. We have run it out. Let's hook the copper up and then I'll go and get extra inserters. Has that stopped? Why is that stopped? Oh, it's already made the 1,000 concrete. Okay. Huh. I was a bit worried that that might take ages and ages and ages. Right, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for inserters. In there. Is the copper sort of ready to rock on this end? Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so why is there no copper? Oh, it's just taking its time. Okay. Right, so where did we get to? Down to here. Oops. So that will be copper when it runs through. We could go and grab what we've got here. Bury some of this down. But I'm wondering if we should just belt it down anyway. So we need our priority right. Oh look, red circuits are all backed up now. Right, so what was I going to do? I was going to stick these in a chest over here. Like that. Or chest or two. Like that. I'm going to check on all the sciences, basically, just to make sure I hadn't messed anything up. So you're very slow, because you're not getting prod modules. And prod modules are just slow. So I got my maths wrong there, I think, haven't I? Maybe I could just tweak it with some blue machines. Oh, wasn't I gonna... Don't forget... Not that I've got any. I didn't put them in the science thing, science labs again, did I? How many can I hand make? I can hand make 8. But more if I come down here. And steal these. Okay. Where's gold science? Gold science is here. Oh, and it's like super backed up. Okay. So that'll help us out when we do the actual... Oh wow, we got loads of... I guess because this is a one that takes a long time. Yeah, it's a time thing, this one, isn't it? Because ideally, I guess we need to end the, launch the rocket at the exact point, I mean, not launch the rocket, but do the research for the rocket with 0, like, stacked up things, because that would represent wasted material, essentially. But that's probably impossible. Right, so what I was going to do is try and feed this across. Like so. Oh, I'm out of them now. Let's cancel those two and redo them. Yeah, so we get the low density structures out here. Feed them this way. And then if the rocket's sort of here-ish, then we can make the rocket RCUs, basically. Maybe if I go and grab everything we've for the rocket. So I don't really... That may have been dumb, but okay. So we've got now 1,000 steel, 200 electric engines. We need 1,000. What do we need? We need 1,000 concrete, 100 pipe, which I'm carrying already. 200 processing units. Okay. I've got loads of them spare. Okay, 200 of them. 1,000 concrete. And was it 200 pipe? Can't remember. Missed. Okay. So let's grab me concrete, because we know that's done. Concrete. What else? Stick the modules in here. Should have done that a lot earlier, I think. Right, so let's chuck these in there. So that's all the ingredients for the actual rocket. We should have made these by now, yeah. So we get the low density structures. Will come this way. So I'm assuming what I'll do is I'll sort of turn off everything. Basically take out the inserter, the key inserters. So we'll chop these inserters out. And then chop, say, yeah, these ones out. Or, well, we could just replace this with a straight belt, basically. Or put the priority change, maybe. And then everything can go into the rocket, basically. So, if we start sticking these in chests, that's the RCU. So we start the research on the rocket. Yeah, let's just put them in chests there. Because I can't make the silo until that's done. Right, let's go and see if we can chuck some more stuff in the labs. 1, 2, 5. I'm making 5 of them. 2 more. Okay, so RCUs then. So basically that needs to be sort of... Oh, I haven't got any machines. Oh no, I have 42. Yeah, so if this was like... I can't remember how big a silo is. Never can. So if this was here, and the RCUs were outputting... I don't know how many sensible. Well, how long do they take? Can I even make them? Oh, I can. 30 seconds. Wow. Wow. 30 seconds. Okay. That's blow me away, that. You always forget about this stuff because you sort of do it, or I do. You do it on your bus, as it were, and then you don't. You just sort of make enough machines to make it, you know, at whatever speed you want, and then you just sort of forget about it. So we are going to need a bunch of machines here. Right, and they're going to need, because we have this, I don't know, like that. I say I'm sure I'll be sticking most of it in by hand, I would imagine. Grabbing it off belts and whatever. But we want an underground here. Should I? Because we're going to need to boost that up as well. Let's make 10 of them. In fact, why have I not got any green circuits? Okay, so what did this need? This needed... Oh, speed module 1, okay. So we have to make them. They're quicker though, aren't they? They don't take 30 seconds. 15 seconds, so half basically. So if we make them like that, then you're going to need to output on that side. Oh, other way around, sorry. Okay. Speed 1. And this is then going to need... these, basically. So... what the heck am I doing here? Oh, whatever. Take that under there. That under there. Then we need green circuits. Which, if we do that, there, like that, and then red circuits. In fact, oops, like that. So yeah, we need to have more of these, like blue speed. The speed of blue. This needs increasing fairly significantly. Wait. Oh, out of pipe. In fact, let's do that now. Okay. You're gonna run? When you get green circuits? Why are you not getting green circuits? go. If it's only delivering 15 items a second, that's silly, isn't it? I need way more green circuits than that. In fact, it's not. It's only 8 items a second. So what I really need to do is feed in more stuff, really. Oh, that's my stomach growling. Actually, that's not coming through, but there are early lunch, so... right, so where can I pinch a bit more green circuit from? So, I guess if we take it down here... Bit of robbing Peter to pay Paul there. Because effectively I'm bringing the green circuits out early and then starving them here. But at least we're making some RCUs. Okay. Right, so rocket silo is 18% done. I did have some more speeds to help us along. So we would need 6 more of each. Have we got 6 more of each? Oh, got a full stack there. Need some more reds. And now reds are not really being made. Why are reds not being made? Is that not enough copper wire? So I guess probably better to have an extra one here rather than here. Do it more in parallel than in series. Yeah. Right, so what was the net result of that? I think I've run out of... Need one more, don't I think? No, it's fine. No, why are you not... doing anything. You need blue. So blue's the bottleneck, but because there's not enough machines, or is it? Oh, we're out of power. We are out of power. Okay. Haha. Oh. 40 minutes there. I think you can make the spoon already. You could red belt it. Possibly. I have been sort of, in a sense, not panicking, you know, but sort of thinking, actually, it might be doable in this set. It's a bit. I kind of don't want to do it more from a point of view of, if I do, then I'm going to have to start another series tomorrow. I don't know what that's going to be. No, I mean the no time for chit chat is going to be no problem, is it? I mean, we're going to do that. I don't think we'll do the spoon because, well, because of this, to be honest. Oh, I could have grabbed the, because we're about to basically run out of power again, which is not very convenient. What was I coming down here to do? I was coming down here to grab yet more iron, because that's not enough. But I was going to grab these. Here we go. Because we need a bunch of these. I probably don't need a full thingy array, do we? But let's grab a ton of iron. Yeah, probably don't need a full sort of set of boilers, but we clearly need more. Which, as previously mentioned, kind of begs the question more along the coal supply rather than. Yeah, you see they're sort of running out. Okay. Because I got another coal patch there, you see, but belting that over is going to take a little while. So, if I copy that side, like that, and then stick that in there. Oh, have I even got any miners? I don't think I have. So we want to go up here somewhere. Oh, I have. I've got loads of them. Okay. So we'll chuck these in, see if we can solve that problem kind of in no time. And the issue really now, I'm not going to be able to do it in the half hour because I need to build the silo. I mean, we haven't even finished the silo research yet, so I don't think that's going to finish within the half hour for the spoon. Oh, and it's 6:20. I've completely lost track of time. Nuts. I think we're going to have to call it there, actually, for today. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Because I've got to do something at 6:30. Yeah, we'll call it there for today. Oh, dear. That's a bit frustrating. That was fun, but a bit intense, that, if I'm honest. I say, when it sort of became on the horizon that maybe we could do the spoon in this set of streams, I sort of started panicking a bit, and so if people were chatting and stuff, I was sort of ignoring you guys a bit. Yeah, so I'll pick up tomorrow. It's obviously only half an hour left for no spoon. So we won't do it. And the main reason we won't do it is because of the time to produce all of these. You know, building one of those takes 30 seconds. and we need 1,000 of them. And we'll have some on the belt there, but I'm going to have to hand make a load of them. I don't think we'll have enough like red circuits and stuff, but we will definitely get the no time for chit chat, because there's another. I'm not going to stop it because we'll lose a bit of time, but there's another 7 hours, is it, for the no time for chit chat? I'm not going to need another 7 hours to build a rocket, unless some disaster befalls us again. But yeah, so really, really close. A 4 Prod 3 modules would also be. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that should have occurred to me before, because that I know. I mean, that cuts the amount of rocket parts we need down by like a third. You're absolutely right. I should have been making them, because it's not really worth. Although I've got the Prod 1s, haven't I, from in my inventory. So I only need to make them as, the Prod 2 and Prod 3. I mean, in order to do beacons, you see, we'd have to do that entire research tree. That's not even close, I don't think. Oh, unless it's... Wait. Effect transmission is part... You need that before modules, don't you? No. Where's effect transmission? Oh, we could do that. Huh. And it's only 75. Huh. So we could do that as a cheeky thing and stick in literally, like 2 beacons. Just to give it that extra speed boost. Yeah, so it's not... The trouble is, handcrafting the Prod 3s is going to take a while. It's going to be very close, I think. We might go past by half an hour, something like that. But I don't think it's possible, because... And I wasn't ever intending for this, this to be the one where I did it, really. Okay. Oh. That is interesting. But yeah, so if you're around, if anyone's around, we'll be picking up at 3 o'clock tomorrow. We'll launch pretty much straight into it, and I'll see how long past it takes, because with a bit of refinement, bit of tweaking, it won't take much to do it in the 8 hours, I don't think, because we're that close that... I mean, if you think about... I mean, if you've watched, any of these ones, I've done a lot of mistakes. And so if I just don't do those mistakes because I've got a blueprint to tell me what to do, then it's going to be 8 hours, no problem, I think. I always thought this would be really, really hard, but then I thought the, lazy award would be almost impossible for me, because it's not how I play the game. But yeah, it's not actually that far off. A big part of it is because there's loads of text you just do not need. I mean, those basically everything you read there, we just don't need to launch a rocket. And the fact we don't have to do we don't have to launch a satellite cuts out an enormous amount of text, basically, because you don't need, and production, because you don't need to make any solar panels or accumulators. Yeah, anyway, so I will be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock. So I've really got to go because I've completely lost track of time. And we will finish off this, and then I'll start refining the actual blueprint for this entire base. And then, so next week should be a case of the 2 streams will be enough, I would imagine. If we're going to, we could probably do it in about 6 hours or so, I would guess. If not, I'll just do as much as I need to do the achievement next week. And if it messes up, I'll just do it the week after. Cool. So yeah, so if you have been watching, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed it. And you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Logistic. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.